niggas ain't shit. Y'all niggas ain't shit, no. So I gotta put myself in the front. No, I don't want tonight. I gotta be fine by myself, alone with myself, and I'm taking my time. I'm doing this right. Self-love, self-care, self-care,
Yes, ma'am. Earlier, that was about a couple of weeks ago when you told me. Oh, damn.
She gets me higher than the 747. Turns me up to 11. Man, this must be heaven. I never thought of loving for a second. For 2 to 3 babies and a wedding, I'm spending. Something's coming over me. I'm obsessing, head over feet. You know life, it ain't always sunny days. But right now, I can feel no rain on me. It would take so much hate for my smile to leave. Because I know the one I love, she loves me. She loves me. She got me shooting like Reagan in the 90s. Everything's exciting, but she's the wave that I am riding, the thunder to my lightning. She's the one and only cake that I am icing.
This guy right here.
Something's coming over me. I'm obsessing, head over feet. You know life, it ain't always sunny days. But right now, even no rain on me. But it would take for my smile to leave.
I left my charger in the car, but it's okay. I'm just borrowing somebody's charger that's right here. Apple pie.
She loves me.
I'll put it back on top. Whoever it is.
She loves me just right. She loves me all night. You know life, it ain't always sunny days. But right now, I can feel no rain on me. It would take so much hate for my smile to leave. Because I know the one I love, she loves me. She loves me. Oh, yeah. She loves me, alright.
Good morning, Mom. Good morning, OG.
She loves me, alright.
I'll make you play this for your personal situation. I think I can do that. I've done that so many times. Well, here, just listen to this song.
Come over. I know I shouldn't know you shouldn't. Come over.
The artists, they don't want to share.
Back into your arms again, and it's getting old. Saying that I love you just so you don't let me go. It ain't right, but I'ma stay tonight because you told me so. Every time we try, it's back and forth. It's like I swear I come right back. I want you just like that. Don't fight back. Baby, don't get like that. I swear I just might be gone by tonight. Just last time. Don't make me regret it. I don't wanna say it. Let's not overthink it, baby. Just last time. Don't make me regret it. I don't wanna say it. Let's not overthink it, baby. Come over. I know I should, know you should. Come over. Here we go. Back into your arms again. I'm staying silly, yo. Saying that you love me just so I'll let you go. You ain't right, but I'ma let you slip. Now I told you so. I told you, baby. Every time we try, it's back and forth. It's like I swear I come right back. I don't want you just like that. Baby, don't get like that. I swear I just might be gone by tonight. Just last time. Don't make me regret it. I don't wanna say it. Let's not overthink it, baby. Last time. Don't make me regret it. I don't wanna say it. Let's not overthink it, baby. Come over. No, I should know better. Come over.
Good morning, what's up, man?
Come on, boy. Just this last time.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What you about to get into?
I'm gonna pull up on the phone real quick.
I'm telling you, putting up a...
No. That's over.
The new sound of Las Vegas, 22.3, Takeover Vegas Radio.
My needs seem a mystery. Keep me one, never know.
Look at that.
It's out of my control. They must let my
That's the lady I told you I met.
waiting by my phone. It's out of my control. Am I holding on to nothing? Is there more to this discussion? Or am I interrupting? My direct connection. Committed on rapid affection. I got a question. Question is this on you? Is this on you?
Man, I saw on TikTok, and he the new Jim Cole law.
It's about them all, not that
Yeah, he's reading it.
Give me that girl, mama, that get back. Not that I can't let you go. That ain't not you to say.
1 minute clip. Break it down, be sexy for y'all.
So God, you took it down my patience. Give you one more chance to come around your eyes and let me down. Take go, we can work this out. Holding on to nothing. Is there more to this discussion? Or am I interrupting? My direct connection.
You have to, like, Google it, like, go to touch it. And then make sure you're liking them that way.
Questions that's on you.
Your Las Vegas connection for music, news, and fun. 22.3, take over Vegas Radio.
You've got me all in my feelings. And I know you drive from running through my mind. You stole my heart and I mean it. You can't take what you need and not give back to me. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I leave? I don't know. Goddamn. Cause thinking of you, it's all I do. Honestly, I might go insane. Cause when we break up, you need to make up. Girl, you know some things will never change. You can't keep coming and going, in and out of my life. Please make up your fucking mind. I give you time and you kill it. It's very personal to me that you give it everything, yeah. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I leave? I don't know. Goddamn. Thinking of you, it's all I do. Honestly, I might go insane. Cause when we break up, you need to make up. Cause girl, you know some things will never change. Should I stay? Should I go? Ball in your court, lay it up, let me know. I've been around for years, back when everything was slow. You a superstar now, I always told you you would blow. I see you, I wanna please you, I wanna breathe you. If you ever lost, I wanna be the one to leave you. Pick you up at night, take a drive, shit, I'll feed you. Something about me, I could guarantee I could complete you. I'm a woman that's gonna show up when they ask you who you riding with. Who got her own around the neck, or who you shining with. Pushing for this love, it's what you want, it's what you grow. Look at God, look at love, look at how it overflows. Thinking of you, it's all I do. Honestly, I go insane. Cause when we break up, you need to make up. Girl, you know some things will never change. I keep going through circles, circles all around.
The new sound of Las Vegas, 22.3, take over Vegas Radio.
Having a proactive pandemic response works.
Dang, people just be knocked off overnight and stuff. I know this guy is tired of talking.
PowerX TV, brought to you by PowerX Energy Drink. Experience the power. Drink PowerX.
He's tired of talking. I know.
Pro One Stage Production, raising production levels reliably. And Total Concept Integration. This is another Pro One Stage production.
I might be looking low.
Every time I see you, you make my heart say, oh
Huh?
I know this one's for me. It don't matter whatever the weather, 'cause you're my rain and shine. And when I call you darling, can't help but smile. Time can stop forever, that would be fine. I'm where I wanna be, I really wanna make you see. If they don't know nothing else, they know I'm about you. I'm telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, 'cause I want to. I wanna tell the whole wide world about you now. It feels just like the first day. What you give me, it don't change now. And remember, I ain't leaving never. You're who I'm here for. Yeah, I'm yours. When I call you darling, can't help but smile. Yeah, time can stop forever, that would be fine. I'm where I wanna be, I really wanna make you see. If they don't know nothing else, they know I'm about you. Hey, I'm telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, 'cause I want to. Hey, yeah, I wanna tell the whole wide world about it. Love, love, yeah, love, yeah, love, yeah, love, 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 love.
How bad of a parent do you have to be for this and so the kids
tell me about you. I'm telling everyone I know this song is about you. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, 'cause I want to. Yeah. I wanna tell the whole wide world about it. Love, you love, you love, you love, baby. I'm telling everyone I know this song is about you, baby. And I'ma sing it all day, all night, 'cause I want to. I wanna tell the whole wide world about you. Your love, your love, your love, your love. Da da da, da 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 da. I wanna tell the world about your love, your love, your love, baby.
That's really how I'm turning. Like, I'm on your vocal like right here. I met you in Atlanta, sweet like purple phantom. You know I'm a fan of you, baby. But you lie, messing with the pride. It's not about you. It ain't about me. I got feelings too that you really can't met her in New Orleans. Instantly you got me falling. And you know I do come for you, baby. Oh. But you lie. Taking down my pride. It's all about you. Yeah. It ain't about me. About me, baby. The feelings too that you really can't see. Oh yeah. It's all about you. Oh, it ain't about me. Now your feelings too that you really can't see. Oh, baby. I'm in my head. I think I'm on crazy. Gave you my all. You proved me wrong, baby. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's dead, baby. Yeah. But you lie. Messing with my pride. It's all about you. It ain't about me. But the feelings too that you really can't see. Yeah. It's all about you. It's all about you. It ain't about me. The loving ain't true.
Good morning. You're here with your girl Rocky. Today is Takeover Thursday. Here on 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio. Rocky Relays is sponsored by Crystal Clear Marketing and Copaesthetic Designs. And you know, it's always a good day when we're here at 22.3. What's going on, Duty?
Top of the morning to you.
I'm awake.
Ooh, that was a deep sigh right there.
Yeah, I'm awake because the sleep was good.
Man, you know, I don't want to wake up.
The sleep was good, you know, the colder weather and just in the blankets. And yeah, I definitely didn't want to get out of the bed. Not saying I didn't want to get up, I just didn't want to get out of the bed.
Man, well, I'm thankful I woke up, but I hear you. I didn't want to get up either, man. I was laying next to baby, and I'm like, yeah. Gotta get that ass up though.
Yeah, get up, get to it. So what any events happened to you this morning?
Man, nothing too crazy. I mean, you know, traffic was a little crazy on the freeway, you know, but outside of that, I got a good system in the mornings, you know, so, you know, it's kind of like clockwork. I just, you know, move how I got to move to make sure I'm at where I'm supposed to be, but woke up feeling good. Can't complain.
Yeah, me too. I have my little moments where my little anxiety acts up, and this morning I could not find the keys.
Uh-oh.
But luckily, you know, that's what you got babies for.
Yeah.
So, Mom, let me go check the car. We have a garage, by the way. I didn't just leave my keys in the damn car. It was parked in the garage. They were left in the car, though.
Yeah.
She goes and checks it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know where the keys is at. And then I hear her hit the. I was like, oh, look at her. Look at her coming through. She had her Halloween costume on. They got to wear it for virtual school today.
Okay.
So, you know, I guess she felt like a princess. She had to go save the day. Little belle dress walking around the house.
Man, she got to control what's going on, man.
Yeah, you know, she does. She does.
You know, somebody got to keep up with mom.
Of course. Speaking of keeping up, you know, it's hard. I was thinking, like I told you yesterday, I was thinking a lot about the way you maintain yourself in relationships or how you grow and things like that. And a child is a relationship.
Yeah.
So this past year, I found myself dealing differently with people, but first starting with myself.
Okay.
So with that, it comes understanding, which I'm always talking about. You have to understand things. I have to understand in order to move forward. So with her, I've been working on my communication because I like to holler, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work for her. So I find myself sitting there. I mean, sometimes it does. I'm not going to lie. But I find myself sitting there thinking about different ways that I can communicate to her without getting frustrated.
Without yelling or without getting frustrated?
Without getting frustrated.
Okay, that's way.
Because I could whisper like this and say what I need to say.
That's way different than not yelling though.
Getting frustrated.
Like, ooh, that's a different type of control.
So I saw this video last night again on TikTok because I love TikTok, and they were talking. She was talking about how you interact with your child when you come from, your background, your childhood, like how you put those things together, and how a child can trigger childhood trauma. The inner child in yourself.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. I watched the video. TikTok's only a minute. I watched it like 3 times just to make sure I heard it right when she said what she said, so I could get this understanding. And I was like, okay, so I'm not frustrated. She's triggering my inner child. So now what do I do with this? Then I started to apply that to different relationships I have in my life. My other half, how I interact with my brother, my mom, my sister, even my grandmother, who most of the time is over the phone.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of myself because I've come a long way. But I still have some adjusting to do.
We talked about this a bit yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And, in the end, there's a lot of people out there, including myself, we find ourselves interacting based off of our own traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to grow beyond that, but we also have to recognize that in others. Not knowing somebody's background is not an excuse to poo-poo how they feel about a situation.
Right.
You don't know what put them in a mindset to feel that way.
Right.
When I see people that are, I'll go back. When I moved back to LA when I was 12, one of the overwhelming things that I noticed was that a lot of people were selfish.
Yeah.
And it took me aback for a second. And I'm like, why is it a culture of selfishness? And it wasn't that. It was a survival mechanism.
Right.
So where I looked at it as selfishness, like, why y'all don't share, in their mind, is survival of the fittest. I got to keep what's mine.
Right.
I might need to take yours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just a different mindset. And you have to observe it, you have to respect it, but you also have to get to the root of it. Because if I never got to the root of it, I would have never understood it.
And see, and I think that's the problem I find myself having with a lot of, because I'm not saying everybody doesn't think deep. Maybe they do when they're in their room by themselves, but to be able to communicate that with people.
For real.
Like if I ask, well, why do you feel like this? Or what about what I said made you triggered you, made you act like that? Because obviously I said something, put a period on it, and now you don't want to talk to me no more, or the conversation went left.
A lot of it is subtle.
Yeah.
And so it's not something even that's obvious to the person. Sometimes it's just how people decide to react based off of their history of dealing with certain situations.
Right. And that's okay. But as far as Rocky goes, if I'm in your life, I might just press it, but I'm not even going to say might. I will. I will definitely press your buttons to benefit our relationship, not necessarily.
Oh my gosh. Let me ask, because as a man, I've heard this a lot. You do a lot of tests?
Sometimes.
Don't sometimes.
We can't. Hold on. Wait a minute. You ain't gonna have me put the girl code out here like that. You ain't put me on blast. You telling our secrets.
Let me pick the mic up. Okay. So if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me be very specific. So you find yourself in a test, in a pop quiz, and you don't even know it when you're in a relationship.
You always got to be ready.
Stay ready. You ain't got to get ready, right?
I don't know what to tell you.
You know what I'm saying? And it's what I've learned is really about, people's temperament and their willingness to be a critical thinker in the moment. Mm-hmm. But it's always emotional. It's always about emotion.
Right.
These tests.
Right.
So you said sometimes. Don't be sometimes to me. Answer the damn question, right? Are you one of those testers, or is it just random situations you find yourself in like this?
Can I plead the fifth? Okay. No, I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I found myself straying away from that because it just is what it is. You ain't test it. You test the person. It does. There's sometimes. It's sometimes. It does. Sometimes you might just want to see, like, I did that on purpose just to see what you was going to do. And I knew that you was.
Yeah, it happens. This is the thing, right? Anybody that cares. For me, I'm empathetic. I don't want to call myself an empath. I don't want to put that on myself, but I'm empathetic. I've always been observant of people.
Right.
Like when I was young, my mom would tell me not sit down and shut up, but you're not to be in grown folks conversation. You know what I'm saying? So my observation wasn't always hearing exactly what people said. It was really in their movements and their people call it energy. I'm watching them. I'm watching their facial features. I'm watching the signal they're giving a homeboy from across the room. I'm watching, you know what I'm saying, who the pastor is looking at while he's sitting in the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? Like these situations and this observation allow me to understand communication differently. So when I'm in my personal relationships, whether it's dealing with my close family or friends, or even dealing with coworkers or people that I have in my surroundings, I can catch things a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm more attentive, and there are triggers. Like you will see, I'll call it the demon getting stirred up in folks. It could be a word, it could be a person, it could be a, you know what I'm saying, a type of interaction. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll be in a group of people and one person come around and half the people in the group that was there before that was in a good mood just turned shitty.
Sour.
Yeah. You know, that type of stuff. You know, everything is compared to like high school.
It is, but I mean
cliques and all these different type of things and how we, you know, but once again, like I say, talking about how we're triggered. And a lot of people are triggered by the emotions that hurt the most. So
but I want people to understand those triggers, but you have to understand those triggers.
Understanding them and dealing with them is two different things.
But once you understand them, you can deal with them, because then you can explain to people. It can help other people around you. Explain to people like why it makes you like.
What do you think is the biggest trauma that people deal with? Like when you're just, you know, personal or not. When we're talking about this, you know, we're talking about personal interactions with friends, families, you know what I'm saying, spouses, kids, all that type of stuff. Like our kids are different because the traumas that they have are probably traumas we gave them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying we allow these things, but things happen to our children. We have to take responsibility. But when we're dealing with our spouses, we're dealing with our significant others, we're dealing with family members, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, aunties, all that type of stuff. What have you run into the most as far as what usually be bothering people? What gets them to getting acting a damn fool? Is it one thing or is it another? Is it a bunch of different things? But I think it's, I'm gonna let you answer.
It's this is the word I'm looking for. Custom. Specific to each person. Like me personally, I don't like when I'm talking to somebody and they roll their eyes or they make a noise. Like what I'm saying is irrelevant. That's the type of stuff. Like that's the sound effect. Like, oh my god, like that to me, I don't. Just period. Like so, if somebody does that to me, hopefully not ever in the workplace. I mean, I have had it happen before, but to be able to control that, like you can't sit there and explain to everyone that hey, this is a trigger for me. So if I punch you in your nose, it's your fault. Like
why is that a trigger for you?
It's a childhood trauma.
Why? What kind of trauma are we talking about? Like that's what I'm saying. Explain it to me.
Now, my mom's watching. So mom, I'm just I love you. When growing up, I remember having conversations with my mom, and if I would say something, like, oh my gosh, like, da, da, da. But as a parent, now that I'm a parent,
basically, like, shut up. Yeah,
basically, you know what I mean? So then it did bother me then, but I'm coming to understand that this is a trigger. But I understand why it happened because now I'm sitting looking at this kid talking to me.
But yeah, do you do that?
I try not to. I'm not going to say that I don't.
That's not what I asked you.
Do I do it?
Yeah.
I try not to. That's my honest answer. I try. When I find myself doing that, I correct it because.
No, but you do it.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, what ends up happening? We talk about the sins of the father fall to the son. We pick up these practices.
Yeah.
Right. Or we look at our situation and you know how we dealt with it, how we made us feel, but then we'll repeat it, expecting a different result. And I've done it. You know what I'm saying? And learning how to parent based off of how we felt our parents done is probably not the best idea because like you said, we'll have a distorted perception. It's one thing about how it made us feel. It's another thing about why they did it.
Right.
So we live in an age where parents don't give whoopings. We're not allowed.
Who not?
By the law of the land, we're not allowed to whoop our kids. That's the law. I'm not saying people don't do it. I'm not saying people don't do it. I'm just saying, I'm growing up, it was regular practice, right?
Right.
But why is it so serious? There's a lot of people that say, I got my ass whooped and I turned out okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that don't realize the trauma that those whoopings and those beatings caused.
Yeah.
We joke about it. My father was abused as a child, whooped and beat on and things of that nature. And when he would tell the stories, we would laugh. It would be comical. And he would tell the stories and it would be funny. But that shit ain't funny. Getting abused as a child, as a 6-7-year-old orphan, trying to protect your brothers and sisters.
Right.
But that's how the trauma turns. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I think for us, our responsibility as parents is first to analyze ourselves, but not to project ourselves or how we came up onto our children.
Right.
Because honest to God truth, they're just like it ain't no manual to it.
Mm-hmm.
It also, we're gonna judge ourselves way worse than anything else. No matter how good our kids turn out or how bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna take some responsibility.
We should.
So why not try to do something different every time? Like me, it's days I want to kick my kids' ass. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But it's also an understanding that I have that whoopings didn't do nothing for me. It just made me want to be more slick and sly, not to get caught. You know what I'm saying? It was better to get an understanding. So now, what I've always tried to do as a parent, my oldest daughter is 15. Since she's been able to communicate with me, I mean, since she's been born, I've been trying to get an understanding. I explained to her, allow her to explain to me, and back and forth, because I didn't feel like I had that.
Right.
And knowing that, that's the one thing that I would have wanted. That's one thing I provide. I don't go off how I felt. I just go off of what I needed. It's a line of communication, letting our kids know how we feel and why we do the things we do and why we say the things we say. I think it helped a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's with mine. I'm nervous because that thing right there.
No,
you couldn't even you have a conversation. You know how as a parent you're like, oh, I think I know what my kid's gonna say. No, that doesn't happen with her. Like this is gonna be some whole off the wall stuff that makes sense.
No, but that's the key. We gotta realize our kids are a better version of ourselves, so they know us better than we know us.
This is true,
right? But now we apply the same thing to our relationships. It's a little bit harder because these people don't necessarily know us.
They're learning, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whether it's your parents, your brother or sister, your spouse, your cousins, they don't know you the way that your child knows you. And so the acceptance and understanding of these little ticks and things are not the same.
Yeah, it's most definitely not the same.
Right? So when we're talking about that, when you're dealing in the workplace, that, this girl talking. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'll give you an example how cats be trying to act. I come through the building and cats don't speak. I'm gonna speak to everybody type of cat. You look me in my face, I have to say something. I look you in your face, we better speak.
So why?
But because it's a regular acknowledgement. Acknowledge that I'm here. Just like I'm acknowledge that you're here. So I'll walk through a building and see somebody 7 times in a week. What's up? First time, maybe you didn't hear me. Hey, what's up, brother? Second time. Okay, maybe he was busy. Third time. Yo, what's good, bro? By the third time, I already know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna stop. Why? Because I got issues with rejection. Being acknowledged by people that I feel like should be acknowledging me. And not saying that I'm special to be acknowledged, but if we're in each other's physical presence, I was taught that we treat each other with a certain level of respect.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's like when you walk into a retail store and you expect somebody to say hello to you. Somebody walks into your house,
that would
you expect them to speak to you.
Right. No, yeah, okay.
Okay, so the same way, if I see you 7 days a week and you don't even acknowledge me in your presence, that means that we got a problem. But I understand it. And what I do is, it comes from growing up in LA and knowing that you can't just be everywhere because everybody's gonna see you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I used to walk to high school through about 7 different hoods. So depending on what time of day it is, who see you, everybody know this is outlaw walking up the street in that bright ass yellow Kobe jersey and them bright ass yellow shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody pop no shots at me because they know who I am. You feel what I'm saying? So being acknowledged might not just be, okay, what's up, bro? Being acknowledged is saying, okay, I know you're here, I know your presence. You feel what I'm saying? And after a while, you feel what I'm saying? Cats that you notice in your presence, you're supposed to have some kind of acknowledgement or relationship. You see the same crackhead in your neighborhood, you know them.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all. But that's one of those, when I say triggers, because when you're not acknowledged, that could be a problem too.
Yeah, yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you're being dismissed or you're being pushed to the side. I'm saying it could be a ploy or a plot too.
No, see, I understand that because let me walk in the store, they don't speak to me. Hello, hi, how you doing? I'm here to spend my money. Speak to me.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. That maybe it is a trigger. Maybe I have more triggers than I thought. Now that
it's a lot of triggers.
Now that you're talking about, I have a lot of triggers.
Yeah, but like I say, for me, walking the streets as a Black man, I had to pick up on different things. I had to notice that my demeanor determines how people deal with me. You know what I'm saying?
So by saying that, did you adjust it?
Yeah.
So
I got a hustler's mentality, right?
Right.
So I won't lie to nobody. I was having a hard time with my hustle. And I started reading some books about my demeanor. Now, this was Street Hustle. And I read a book about physical communication. And the first chapter was just talking about your face and how your face is the first thing that people use to understand who you are. So right now we're walking around with masks on and it's really hard to read people. That's why a lot of people are uneasy. Because when you see somebody, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and how they move will let you know what they're thinking and how they feel if you pay attention. But even if you're not paying attention, even in the back of your mind, you're going to notice it. So I used to walk around with a little mean mug on. Man, might call it a resting bitch face. You know what I'm saying? That's what they would consider it. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I caught myself and I looked at myself like, damn, you do look mad, bro. And I wasn't mad about nothing. So I was hustling on the strip and I did an experiment. I started smiling. I started walking up and down the strip, didn't change my clothes, didn't change my product, didn't do nothing. All I did was smile. Sales went up 200%. Simply because I was approachable, because when people saw me, I didn't look like a threat. I didn't look like somebody that was upset. I didn't look like somebody that wasn't approachable. That one little thing messed my head up because I realized that the small things psychologically in me made me judge people. Things that I didn't even realize that in me. You feel what I'm saying? So if I realize that people are judging me, whether knowingly or unknowingly, they talk about not prejudging your family or not prejudging your.
And that's what you have a person like me for.
But we have to prejudge. You feel what I'm saying? Marketing is all about prejudging. You feel is trying to get you all that type of stuff. But in the end, what we're talking about is not about their appearance or their background. We're talking about their money.
Yeah.
That's powerful, right? Because when I learned that everybody that got money don't look like they got money, or my perception of what people that got money look like is not actually the real truth.
That's right.
It helped me a lot too. Like I say, it's these small things. So these traumas are not just in our relationships, they're in ourselves too. Because we psychologically train ourselves to have this bias.
And breaking that is,
you feel me?
It's a process.
It's a psychosis because then we got this bias in our head and now we're walking around with this false perception. And now we're triggered. Now, right or wrong, if we're triggered, no matter how we feel, it might not be the fact. Now, we live in a world where feelings matter over facts. So because
that outside world.
Just because I'm not a threat doesn't mean that I'm not a threat, because if people feel I'm a threat, I'm a threat.
That's true.
That sounded like some straight crazy retarded shit, right? That's like the penitentiary preaching shit, but just very simply, let me say that again. just because I'm not a threat does not mean that I'm not a threat. Because if you feel I'm a threat, I'm a threat. Even if you feel me, if I'm not threatening. And I'm sorry, but being black is a trigger for folks.
This is true. They'll definitely move different with you.
Oh,
being that I'm mixed, I've seen it. Yeah. Like you'll have a whole conversation. You don't even know where I came from till I bring this mother of mine in, and you, oh hey, I'm like, no, keep that same energy you had.
Same thing, but same thing with, I mean, as a man, I know how dudes are traumatized by women and their relationships with women. And so their interaction with women is all based off of trauma.
Yeah.
You feel me? I was reading a post and it was saying, how you gonna be mad at a girl for having daddy issues? You should have been mad at the daddy. And I feel that. But a lot of these dudes got mommy issues too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, no, yes.
And so,
oh my gosh.
You know, when I'm in a room full of men, I can read the chumps. It's even more evident when a woman comes in the room.
Yeah. To test the stereo, make a YouTube video.
I'm just saying, homie. I mean, you know, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in traffic, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter where you at. Even in our culture of fans only and all that type of stuff. Like
only fans, babe. Come on now, don't say
these dudes are so traumatized that we use tricking and spending our money on these type of things as a way to say we're
made aware
as a success in society.
How?
Yeah, making it rain and King of Diamonds or something. You
that's
ain't
my
nobody.
problem
you
because
no
you
boss.
would make it like, and that is just one of my triggers.
We sit up and these dudes that sit up, man, patronizing on social media. Oh, y'all want to be queens, but you all got a fans only, and you got to do for this and do for that. Well, dudes is paying it while you mad.
Right.
You feel me? I saw a post today about a prominent or not prominent musician, manager, whoever you want to call it here in Vegas. And he got over on this lady for a few $100. And she put him on blast on Facebook and a few of the posts. Like, you sucker, you know what I'm saying?
What is that?
You took some money from me and now you
see.
just blocked me and yada, yada. And dudes do that every day. I've been in Vegas 19 years, man. There's a lot of dudes out here that's been out here.
So that's how some of these they get by. Is having a woman take care of them.
No, colder than that. Like straight calling themselves players and calling themselves, you know what I'm saying, OGs and calling themselves gangsters and all these other type of things. And all they're doing is trying to finesse somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to finesse somebody, but like do it for a little more than just the moment.
It's not all right to finesse somebody.
No, what I'm saying is there's still a code to this. Right now, we live in a world of social media. So I'm triggered by people doing dumb shit. Right? Especially people, like I said, that run around here that's supposed to be reputable and claiming reputability and things of that nature, claiming to be stand-up guys and all that. Right. You running around, you taking advantage of people. If you're a dude out here and you're running around and your reputation is about taking advantage of women, like, I don't respect you, bro.
But there's other little niggas that do, and so that makes it okay.
No, but that don't make it okay. I'm gonna tell you why. Here's the thing: we have to start recognizing what the outcome is of our.
It's a cycle. I say that I've had a conversation. One of my employees that I'm very close to. He's the younger. I'm gonna say, Sean, like 22, and we sat down and we had different conversations. I always wanted to make sure that I let him know, be careful how he treats these women. Yes. Like you could tell the difference. You can obviously tell the difference in a good woman and one that's just throwing ass. And honestly, treat them accordingly. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to treat the one that's throwing ass and the good woman the same, because now you're gonna have two throwing ass women because she done got her heart broke, you done hurt her, and then you're gonna run into somebody that's gonna be your karma, and then now this is just what you're doing. Well, now everybody's just doing this.
And here's the thing, and I love Sean too, because he's a good kid, but I'm a change of philosophy, right? Instead of looking at how we're treating women, dudes need to look at how they're treating themselves. Right? You sitting up talking to your daughters about how she should be treated and all this and what she's looking for, and you telling her to go find this fantasy nigga that you can't even be or not even willing to be. You feel what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. I'm trying to describe and show my daughters what it is that a man is, but I'm expecting them to go find some shit that ain't out there. So am I going to be like, okay, you know what? You got to have a principle and a guideline. Yeah, that's all I can do. I got to hope that they pick one for themselves that fits the standard that they want, because that's all we ever do. But like, these cats, my daughter came to me like, yo, Dad, I just wanted to be open with you and tell you that this is this boy, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, it is what it is. And I couldn't acknowledge it because the thing is, no matter what, I can't let her think that there's a little boy that's even capable at this point in her life of being that important.
Right.
I was 15. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I'm triggered. Right?
Well, they gotta learn.
Look,
I can say that now.
No, we were just talking about this on social media. There's a page. We're here in Las Vegas. I'm not gonna name it. But there's a young lady, about 20, 22, and she exposed some very grown ass men who had taken advantage of her, sexually abused her since she was about the age of 15. And the way she described it was, you know, she was homeless, needed a place to stay, and these men who had daughters and children their age did what they did for her to give her a place to stay. Give me some head, give me some ass, whatever. Now, let's be honest, folks. People do this shit every day.
Right.
But people ain't exposed like that every day. Right? We're talking about human trafficking. That's why I don't like this term with human trafficking. Because that doesn't apply to every situation.
Right.
But the reality is there are grown men out there that take advantage of little girls every day. You feel me? True. It's like it's grown women out there that take advantage of little boys every day. And we can look at age, we can look at maturity, we look at however we want to. But I'm triggered by it because somebody tried to take advantage of me. And I'm triggered by it because I got so as I'm looking, I have to say to my kids, not how do you treat somebody, but how do you treat yourself to make sure that you don't put yourself in that situation. If you're out there looking for love in all the wrong places, you're gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? And we have to realize that not only are these things happening, but we can't be naive to think that just because we don't talk about it, it's not happening.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's people that we know, men, women, that do things that we don't agree with, we would never agree with, and whether we know about it or not, our affiliation with these people do define us.
Yeah, I heard that. Just gotta analyze.
I'm triggered. I'm just, you know, like you say, coming from a position as a father, as a man, like I say, I don't never want to put it on anybody to think that it's their fault for how somebody else acts.
And that has to be understood because in my experience, a majority of the people, when I sit down and analyze it, a majority of the people that I've come in contact with or I've had relationships with, they do that. And I'm like, well, damn, is that just human nature? Is that like some type of, because how do you do that to somebody? Like how I acted and what I said, that's your fault that I did and said that. That's not what it is. And for the longest time, I think I've been constantly fighting the battle. There's a little voice in my head that would tell me otherwise. Because I said I would have fell into so many different situations if I didn't have some type of connection with myself. I may not have made the best decisions. I made some shitty decisions as far as how I interacted or how long I stayed with somebody or dealt with some shit from people. Yeah. But I always knew that at the end of the day, it wasn't right. Like, this is not okay. Yeah. How I'm going to show you that, I'm not sure yet. I haven't figured this out. Man. Because I'm the type of person, I need you to understand. Like, you're good. By the time we're done with this here, you're going to understand that this, and this that you did, that was wrong. Whew. You shouldn't do it to nobody else. Because it might be worse. Their reaction may be worse. Like, I like for people to understand. I like to have a conversation. I like to sit down with them and walk through it. Like, to me, when people do things, I can forgive those things. But it's how you react after you do that. After I sit here and tell you, I didn't like that. Yeah. So that made me feel type of way. What you said hurt my feelings. What you do after that is what matters to me. Because people make mistakes. Yeah. People don't understand things. Like, we're going to sit down and figure it out together. but it doesn't make it acceptable. I just, I'm working on that with my daughter. I'm thinking about that a lot. I want her to be prepared for those type of things because it's way deeper than just going out into this world. And some people are mean and some people are nice. It's deeper than that. Some people are nice, but their intentions is sour.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You got to be able to read those things.
So, and when it comes to forgiveness, right? How many times do you forgive?
I don't know.
Like you said. So, what I noticed, especially like I say in South Central, a lot of people don't care how you feel. They care about making sure you know what's real. Fuck your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language earlier this morning, but really, like, I've had a lot of them talks with people. I don't care how you feel about it. This is what it is. I don't care how that made you feel. This is what it is. This is why I did it. This is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I snatched you up and I might have hurt your back, but they were shooting over there, and that's why I handled you like that. Or no, I slapped you right now, so you don't say that smart remark in front of somebody that might blow your brains out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those type of interactions. So, like, when you're dealing with people, and I had to learn this. It's been I'm 39 years old. I'm learning this just in the last few years. Like, some people, you have to forgive them, but you have to walk away from them. And how do you get to that? Like, how do you know the limit on forgiveness with somebody before you know that you gotta actually stop dealing with them in the same way?
You asked me personally.
I'm just saying, like, I'm learning this. You know what I'm saying? Like, very straightforward. I had somebody that I was a friend to that was never a friend to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, done friendly things for me, but wasn't a real friend for me. And knowing it don't mean nothing. It's all how it took interaction that I couldn't control for me to cut the situation off to make me do it. I had to analyze myself, like, okay, you could have been stopped messing with this dude. Why didn't you?
Okay, when you were analyzing yourself, did you feel that you were wrong, or did you beat yourself up for?
No, it's always about me, right? And so where I've always had this issue, and this is not something new to me, but I've learned about myself is I care about people in a different way.
Yeah.
So when I care about people, I'm not just looking to care about the superficial. I care about people for their heart, for their soul, for all of that.
Right.
And some people don't care enough about their self.
That's true.
In every bad friendship that I've had, I've been a friend to people who have never been a friend to me. And that's where I started noticing where I can cut people. Okay? If I'm more friendly to you than you are to me, chop, 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 chop.
Right.
And that made it easy. But it took me analyzing that, though, too, because I had to say, hold on, I need to cut off all my friends. You know what I'm saying? What am I doing wrong, dude? Like, are you not a good friend? Like, what? No, it ain't that. It's just that you can't be friendly to everybody.
Okay, so then what about the phrase, they don't know no better?
No, but people do know better. Because look, I used to have this issue. It'd be people that I know that we have a reason to not just be friends, but a reason to look out for each other with the benefit things. And I see how they treat other people. And then I see how they treat me, and I'm like, why? And that would hurt.
Yeah.
My whole life that will never plug in with Duty Outlaw.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? They won't acknowledge Duty Outlaw. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay, because before, when I used to do things, I used to get ridiculed by those people. You know what I'm saying? I would be in talented and gifted situations. I'd be performing professionally. I'd be doing these things as a kid, and the rejection of people saying, well, why you get to do that? Or why you don't have to do what we got to do? Why you special? Why you doing that? Nigga, because I'm special. But at the age that I was, I'm being humble. Like, am I wrong for being special? Like, I don't want to be different. I want to be like, no, nigga, I'm special.
It happened like that. Like, you don't. What's going on around you, when people use around you, like, oh no, I must be weird. Like, no, I'm not normal.
Exactly. And being impressionable as a child, you take the perception to me was I need to fit in more instead of you different, be different.
And see, at that time when you're a kid, you don't understand those things. Like, oh, I need to fit in, I need to be like. None of that shit matters. When you get older, I mean, approachable, possibly be able to communicate with people, yes. But like by everybody, not everyone's gonna like people gonna not like you just because.
Colder than that, people will purposely try to destroy you.
Yeah,
because they see you doing something. I learned that early. You know what I'm saying? And so learning that early created a trigger in me to make sure that I was as supportive as possible of people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's the little things, folks. And first, it starts with self. Because if we recognize our triggers in ourselves, then we'll recognize what attracts us to the things of these triggers.
Yeah, and then when you realize that, You might need to jazz down somewhere.
I'm just saying, right?
And read a book.
Like, man, like for real.
No, when I realized those things, because I ask questions, like conversations that go on in my head. If I could like stream them out, probably would have been viral already. Like that to itself. But that made me sit down. Like, damn, because I felt I would label it as something else. Like, oh, nobody can handle me, or they're not going to understand like my background, like where I came from, why I act the way that they're not going to understand if I date anything outside the box here.
Yeah.
Which isn't true, because there are people that want to understand and they'll accept you for exactly who you are.
Exactly.
You don't have to stay in the toxic because that's what you know. Like if you're trying to cleanse and heal yourself, you're never going to be able to get anywhere if you continue to keep yourself in those same things that make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, or colder than that are your triggers.
Yes.
Right? Because that's the most empowering thing I ever learned, is that I can change. Okay. I can change stuff. I can do things. You know what I'm saying? Like early on, my first job ever. Well, let me give you guys some background. So 10th grade year, going into 11th grade year, I caught a case, and I was tried as an adult. While I was fighting the case, I got my GED, came home, beat my case, and instead of going back to high school, I decided I wanted to be grown. I'm 16.
Right.
My GED, did what I told my parents I was going to do. I'm hitting the streets. So I got my first job up at Guitar Center up on Sunset in Hollywood. It was one of the greatest jobs. It probably is the greatest job I ever had, just being around all the musicians.
Sunset in Hollywood.
Sunset in Hollywood.
Oh.
On Sunset in Hollywood, yes. So as I'm working there, young, impressionable kid, I was approached by one of my coworkers, and he just asked me, like, hey, are you gay? And I'm like, no, I'm not gay. And he's like, hey, what are you doing working here? And I was totally offended. And
was he gay?
Yeah, of course he was gay, because that's why he was asking. I'm not even knowing if he realized how old I was or whatever the deal was, but I just quit. Now, my manager got a hold of it, and he thought I was going to go and get a lawyer or something, try to sue him and all that. No, it was just about walking away, about knowing my own triggers, about at that age understanding, like, yeah, I might not be doing the right thing all the time, but there are certain things I'm going to stay away from.
Yeah.
And I walked away from a great opportunity because I didn't want to deal with the BS.
Right.
And to know that as a young age, I was proud of myself. Now, there were some people that's like, hey, dude, why you got so much principle? That's the only thing I run off of.
Why don't you have any?
Well, I can't expect everybody to.
But okay, somebody asking somebody a question like that, why don't you have no? Why are you worried about what I got over? You want some?
It's a cold world being a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been more disappointed, and I've been more scared of disappointing my parents than anything in my life. When I say disappointed, I'm like, I know they raised me to do the right thing.
Right.
So when I don't do the right thing, I feel bad. So I do the right thing as much as possible. And if I haven't done the right thing, I raise my hand and say I did. There's a lot of people, a lot of situations I've been in doing the right thing where people are like, yo, geez, outlaw, you don't have to be such a good guy.
And why not?
I mean, that's crazy, right? Jeez, outlaw, you could be a little more treacherous. You could be a little, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they probably
you don't have to be so loving, outlaw.
Maybe they expect that because of your name.
No, it's not that. They expect that because that's who they are.
That too.
Like you said, when I ask that question of people, whether they've been my counterparts or above me, why you don't got no principles when they ask me about mine, they don't usually end well.
Why not? Wait, can I get an example now? Hold on.
No, I'm just saying, like, in the last sales industry I was in, I walked away from money out of principle because I'm not going to deal with somebody that's not. If you lie to me once, you're going to lie to me again. And I learned that from dealing with prior situations. So that being said, the last thing they expect anybody to do is walk away from some money. Some money? Some money?
Nah, we ain't walking away from no money. This is your money. It's more money over here.
I had a dude who I consider a friend because of our interactions, because of what we've been through, tell me, like, outlaw, you got to humble yourself, man. I said, go sit your cockazoid ass down somewhere because you're going to be humble. And I love that word because it sounds offensive, right? But that's their word. They made that up. And so he looked at me crazy, but he understood where I was coming from. And again, later on in our relationship, similar situation. He's telling me like, "Oh, man, just bite the bullet on this one, bro. Like, you don't have to be such a stand-up guy."
I feel like I know.
You know exactly what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh, well.
Like we talked about yesterday. If you know somebody digging it,
a booty digger.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain things. I'm not. If I see you, I see people walking in your office and they getting raped every day. I don't want to work in the same dude. And you know, like I say, there are some situations in industries like that where we sit around and we're triggered because we know people are taking advantage of. We just sit around and allow ourselves to be triggered, or we make excuses about our tenure or how much money they pay us. And like, I want to free myself from ever having to do something simply based off of what they can do for me. I want to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reason. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do things that you don't want to do. You got to humble yourself. You got to play the game, all that type of stuff. Certain situations you don't have to. That is our growth, is figuring out where and when in our relationships, in our workplaces, dealing with our family, dealing with our kids, some stuff that we grew up having done to us and how it made us feel. We can't continue doing it. We got to check ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things and all these triggers and all these psychological warfare.
I was just about to say that warfare. That's what it is.
That's going on. If we slow down for a minute and check ourselves first, like I say, I promise y'all, you'll see stuff a lot different.
You will. You sit down and just take that minute before responding.
Yeah.
Is it even worth responding? Is it worth reacting to? Can you do it at a later time? Because right now, I just rather not. And it's okay to say that sometimes to figure out what's going on with you. Because they might have hit that trigger and then get here. You're like, let me go to the bathroom real quick because I need to have a conversation and you're not included. But it's realizing those triggers is hard. Like getting to the root of it, it's not hard, but figuring out what it actually is, because people can understand when certain things happen, they get upset. But why?
Yeah.
But why are you upset?
Why are you upset?
And then you have to backtrack, dig a little bit deeper to understand that maybe you won't be so upset anymore. Maybe you figure out the trigger. So maybe it's not necessarily what's being done. It was the person that was doing it to you.
Hey, wait, hold up. I saw 2 very profound things on social media this week. The first one said, if you're irritated, that don't mean I'm the irritant. You're just irritated. You know what I'm saying? If you're upset, that don't mean that I'm making you upset. Sometimes you're just upset. So it do what it do. I saw another one that really blew my mind, and this came from a good friend of mine. What she wrote, and this wasn't a repost. She said, anybody trying to cheer me up when I'm in a bad mood is not really understanding me. Yeah. Sometimes my bad mood ain't got nothing to do with you. Or me being pleasant should not have to determine how you feel. Now, it's one thing if my unpleasantry is making you unpleasant, or if I'm digging at you, but just me being unpleasant in general should not be such a big deal to you that you got to feel like you got to cheer me up, because maybe you can't.
Right. If I'm sitting on the couch with an attitude, I ain't said nothing to you. Leave me alone.
No, because
and let me figure it out.
I want to make people happy. I want to make people in my life happy, but there are situations and there are certain times where I can't affect that.
Yeah.
There are certain times where I don't know how to affect that, but I have to be aware of myself to know that.
You can't always affect that.
You know what I'm saying? On the other end of that, there's people out there that make people mad and then try to do something to make it better. They don't, you know what I'm saying? That, I'm gonna piss this person off and I'm gonna buy you something to make it better, or I'm gonna piss this person off and then we're gonna have some, you know what I'm saying, some great sex afterwards, and you know what I'm saying? No, just don't do it.
Yeah, that's a trigger too.
Yeah.
Don't make me mad and try to buy me something.
No, that's the thing about it. People think they can get away with outbursts and things of that nature and make up for it in different ways. And like I say, that's not how you treat people you love.
It's not. You know? And then people that are the loving ones, I just have to say this because I just sitting here, I just realized this. When you deal with somebody's allowing them to do that, and then you decide that you're not going to deal with it anymore, for as long as you've dealt with it, now it's okay.
Yeah.
The next person they're gonna do that to them too. So you got to draw a line. Because I'm sitting here thinking about, like, well, damn. For all the time I may have put up with somebody, I allowed them to do that, and then when I was just finally done, then it was just me. It wasn't really. I didn't really make an impact. Now the next person is just suffering through the same shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in the end, that's why some people get a limit, some people don't. That's why I was asking that question earlier. Because, like, you know, friends, family, or kids, maybe our relationships get. But we do have to apply these things, you know what I'm saying, in different ways, because all these situations are nuanced. They're all different. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Some things, you know, aren't forever. Some people aren't going to change. Some people don't want to change. Some people might start treating you like that, but still treat everybody like that. How do you feel?
Damn, when you say that, you know what? I didn't think about that.
That's a cold mind game right there, right? If you talk to I'm not gonna say your friend, it's a person in general, and say, hey, I don't like that you do this. And they stop doing that to you, but they still do it to everybody else.
Are you supposed to care or are you not supposed
to care? No,
because
that's how deliberate a lot of people's actions are and how they move.
Damn. Damn.
You feel me? Like, for example, right? Let's take sexual harassment.
Okay.
Hey, you're being inappropriate. Don't approach me like that no more. Does that mean that person gonna stop doing it, or is that person gonna stop doing it to you because you confronted them?
It's probably just you, because if they like to sexually harass people, they're gonna do it all the time. I ain't stopping. Damn, I didn't. Damn. Whoa. Hey, that's some shit. So what do you do when they stop treating you like that, but then they still treat you? How do you even condone it? Do you say something about it? Like
those are chop suey things. Yes, man. There are certain behaviors, and I'll give you an example. It comes a lot from people in power and leadership and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll have a freedom to do something that's not right, and they'll still do it.
Right.
And they don't expect anybody to hold them accountable to that. Right. And so, you know, being in charge don't mean that you can do what you want to do. Being in charge means you make hard decisions that nobody else wants to have to make.
Right.
But you do make it judiciously, not just doing what you want to do. For example, when Obamacare passed, when the Affordable Care Act passed, all the corporations decided that they weren't going to pay employees. So they cut hours. If you worked over a certain amount of hours, the rule was through the ACA that they had to pay for your health care. Now that health care is not uber expensive.
Is that okay? This was what, because I remember the first job I had, they told me that it was either get paid $7.25 an hour or take the $11 an hour. But if you took the $7.25, that's when you would get insurance.
Well,
something like that. Something like that.
All the thresholds depended on how much money you made and how many hours you worked, depending on the industry. So specifically, like I was working retail. So if you worked retail and you worked over 30 hours a week, your company had to pay your health care. So what companies did, I'll call them out, Nike, Adidas, Walmart,
28 hours a week.
Pennies, they cut people down to 28 to 22 hours.
Oh, damn.
Literally. This was their plan. They didn't say, okay, the Affordable Care Act passed. We want to make sure everybody got health care. They said Affordable Care Act passed. We're going to make sure that these motherfuckers get it. Excuse my language. That's how they had to have said it, because that's what they did. Now, how does that trigger me as an employee? I'm a great employee. I make millions of dollars for this business, but my hours got to be cut because I'm not suitable, or I'm not suitable to deserve health care.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not suitable. They just don't want to give it to you.
No, exactly.
That's their money, and they want to do what they want to do.
They're saying that you are not worth having health care. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we live in a world where we know that the industries, we be in situations with people, we be in situations with cliques and groups and families and churches, all this stuff, where we see people do damn wrong. And we still think they're going to do something different. So when do you let go? Big or little, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, mom used to tell me, if you lie to me, you'll steal from me. If you steal from me, you'll kill me. Like, each one leads to the other. I took that shit so literally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not as simple as that. There might be some nuances, but if we look at capitalism and what's around us, yeah, they lie to us, they steal from us, and they kill us. All in the pursuit. You know what I'm saying? So when do we, came back around, triggered again, I'm sorry.
Triggered.
Can
we play that?
A lot of this stuff, no, for real, because a lot of this stuff, like I say, we spend a lot more time in the workplace, making money than we do doing anything else. A lot of people don't recognize that part.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they do, but they don't.
We don't always acknowledge that, right?
I don't want to say people don't know, because we hear people bitching about how they be there and they want to go home and this, that, and the other. But what are they really going to do about it?
But they realize that the majority of their life is attached to that.
Hey, we were just having a conversation the other night, and it's crazy, like the realization, because I didn't ever think about it. So me, Chris, and Noah, we're talking about how at this place of employment, you get no summer. And I was like, well, damn, I ain't had a summer since 2016. And I'm looking at baby brother, like, is this really, like, he's 19 years old. Is this really where he's...
This is life.
Is this whose life, though? Like, is this the life that...
typical, right? This is what we're supposed to do.
No, it's not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you're supposed to... This is what... I don't want to say this is what you're supposed to do, but this is what needs to be done. There's other ways to get done what needs to be done, but this is the way that you're in right now. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. I would never say that. Like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm currently doing.
What in life is triggering you to continue doing this same thing that everybody else is doing?
I wouldn't say
it's the money is the trauma, yo.
But being on quarantine, I seen that wasn't even it though. Like, it's not that. I work hard for what?
But that's the key, right? Look, in my mind, poverty mindset has set in so cold to where I acknowledge that I wanted more. I still put limits on the more. Look, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all some cold stuff right now, and please quote me when I say this. I am not a citizen of a place. I am a citizen of all places. We are born on Earth. Like, who is they to tell me that all of this ain't ours to go see, to go enjoy, to go touch? You feel me? These invisible borders, these invisible rules, these contradictions. Like, man, I don't want to see the world. I want to see it too. You feel me? I want to go eat all the foods. I want to go experience all the people and all that type of stuff. And nobody in life ever told me I could do that shit. They said, Duty, what you want to be when you grow up? You want to be a doctor or a lawyer? Then they said, Duty, do you want to be more than that? Because there's actually more than that. And so, like you said, we go to a place where we don't got no summers. Man, we live in a place that ain't even got no fall. You feel me? Temperature-wise and the reason
we just here now.
We just here, right? But like the excuse is, Vegas got everything.
No, what do we have?
It's a lot more to see.
We ain't got no culture though.
But until we understand that culture is bigger than just the Americans, but culture is just bigger than what we know, we got to start seeing more. But how do we get that? How do we understand that better? How do we understand better that it's actually better to be poor and broke traveling the world than to be poor and broke working for somebody? I used to always, we see the movies, the Caucasian kids, the Caucasoid kids go backpacking through Europe after high school. Yeah. And you'd be like, that's how we got the movie Hostel and all that type of stuff. Like, what the hell is wrong with them? But reality, like, that's probably the smartest thing to do, to go actually after high school, go get your mind broke by actually going to see the world somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Living off of, this, what you got in your pocket. Because that's the reality for the most. The most is us is going to just be slaves. We're just going to do what we got to do. But for those of us that want more, like, we first got to make sure that we're not getting caught up, and we got to know what we want. And if we only want this little bit, then that's maybe all we can get. If we want the world, shoot, I'm trying to touch every continent.
You can have it. If you want the world, you can have it.
I'm just saying, but you got to want it.
You got to want it, and you got to sacrifice.
There's people out there that worship
like that.
There's people out there that worship the sun like it's the only star in the sky. Now, once we get out of this solar system, man, there's a whole lot out there, man.
I want to say that.
I'm just saying, y'all can have the world. Me and baby gonna take the universe.
Right. Like that.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about this 500 years after our death, we'll be floating like energy through time, but we're gonna be together, and that's understanding that part. Makes life so much better.
I'm here. Now you got me analyzing shit.
Look, like I say, man, take a look. If we all just start with ourselves, you know.
You have to.
And that's where I told everybody yesterday, I got a plan. Duty got a plan. But, you know, people going to be like, Duty crazy. But I'm gonna make sure that everybody know that this ain't no rocket science. It's just about starting inside. And I'm blessed because the people that love me have always made sure they gave me things that weren't just physical. They gave me things and wisdom and understanding that has catapulted me to having a plan.
Brought you to this point that you're at.
Hey, I'm moving in love, and you know that's why love day is every day, because when you're moving in love, everything's clear. You know what I'm saying? Fear creeps in sometimes, and you know what I'm saying, sometimes the joy get broken, and you know what I'm saying, but that's not from nobody else. That can only come from you.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I'm recognizing that and seeing that shit. We're in a good place, man. Thank you, first off, for even bringing this up, because the real reality is, if we start recognizing ourselves and then recognizing ourselves in others, we have a lot more sympathy for others. We have a lot more grace for others. We'll have a lot less judgment, and we'll be able to judge ourselves less.
Yes. That's just what I want to get. I just want to be able to, I mean, not that I'm not now, but to be able to sit there with different people and not have to question where their mind is. Like you could tell those people that internally care for themselves.
Yeah.
That they're not, to me, they just seem unbothered. They come off as unbothered, happy. It is, you know what I mean? Like they're not triggered so easily because they understand these things.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. Like everyone's going to be triggered at one point in time. Yes. I think maybe at least once or twice a day, but be able to handle that.
How you deal with situations is more important than what happens.
Like to me, it's me. Like I want to get to the point where if I'm triggered, you can't tell. Like that's a goal for myself.
Here's the thing, right? Don't do that.
Why?
Don't do that to yourself. That ends up becoming a trigger in itself.
But no, see, I'm not it just paying attention to this at all, but to fact that I can sit there and mentally deal with it and push through it, and I don't necessarily want people to see it has an effect on me.
Because I want to say that some triggers need to be acknowledged.
By who? Because if I acknowledge some of my triggers, you get punched in your nose, like I said earlier.
You said a principle.
Mm-hmm.
My father didn't like men.
Okay.
My father didn't like men because he knew that men, as a general understanding, were pretty conflicted. And so there's only a few men that I've known in my entire life that my father has ever said, that's a good thing.
Okay.
And it's never failed me. You know what I'm saying? It's never failed me. So, understanding that I got male, women friends, the whole shebang, but understanding the nature of a man, being a man, I have very little respect for anybody that goes outside of my principle base. And that don't mean we believe the same things. I don't mean we got to do the same things, know that. But there is a category of things that you have to be considered a stand-up guy.
You're not going to give us the list?
Nah, because that would be too easy.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, damn, because then they might do that.
No, because
the thing you were talking about earlier.
It ain't as simple as a list, because it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to be it. You know what I'm saying? People talk about loyalty. Does loyalty mean I would kill for you, or loyalty mean I would die for you? And if money is the ultimate motivation, that means anybody can be bought. I deal with cats that can't be bought. And just about everybody can be bought.
Damn.
It's 9:38 a.m.
Damn, we need to get to some music. Yeah.
22.3. No, I want to say this before we turn the music on. First off, if you ain't busting nothing, then what you pull that thing for? Look, shout out to my OGs, man. Look, I'm one of them guys. I never walked around with a pistol, right? I didn't walk around with a pistol not because it wasn't dangerous, because I didn't walk around with a pistol because I wanted something big enough to make sure that you knew to run. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not going to put myself in a position to go nowhere where I had to have a pistol, where I had to be in that type of danger.
Right.
But I'm at a home base to where I got something big enough so you know not to run up on it. And a lot of cats have a hard time separating themselves or setting a guideline for themselves. A lot of people get in trouble because they don't follow the rules, the known rules, let alone set a standard for themselves.
Right.
So
their own rules.
Duty can't be bought, because Duty was taught very early on that money is not the most important thing. And I've messed with people that can't be bought, and I understand that money is not the most important thing. I'm not saying that it's not a tool, that it can't be used, but they are not money motivated in the ways that are going to put them where they put their principles aside for it.
Period.
And that's one of the rules. So if I can put that in there, there's a lot of people that say that you can't buy me. Yes, give me a checkbook. I was watching Ghost Rider last night with Babe. You know, you can sell your soul on accident. There's a lot of cats selling their soul on purpose. Niggas selling their souls, but at what cost?
How you put a price tag on that?
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? How you selling your soul? You don't even know what you worth.
That part.
You need an appraisal, nigga.
Well, yeah, somebody need to come through and check this out one time. Yeah, that definitely wasn't it.
We're going to get to some music. Yo, shout out to Rocky and her playlist. Man, her playlist is rocking my world today. All songs that I have not heard before. You heard them here first on our 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio. Shout out to our sponsors, Copacetic Design, Troubadour Entertainment Incorporated. We're going to get to this Vito Add to You. And we'll be back on 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio.
Vito kind of hot. Is cigarette time? Cigarette time.
I ain't gonna lie, girl, I can't front. Girl, I'm so proud of you. You kept it together, girl, after all that shit you've been through. Look at you now. Good job at the graduate school. If nobody noticed the work you put in, shawty, just know that I do. No shit was unexpected, but it made you better. Girl, ain't no time to cry about what you could have done better. Nobody's perfect, but you never quit. I want you to own that shit. I see you working, now you own your shit. Baby, you deserve it now. I got you, if you promise you got me. Girl, you worth being honest to bring out the best in you. You gotta know, you're all I want. Pull up on you to let you know. Baby, you're a blessing. You just gotta know your value. You ain't got a question, cause I'm gonna always be about it. I know that you're capable and you don't need a man. I'm not trying to take the credit, just let me enhance. Baby, let me add to you. Baby, let me add to you. I just wanna add to you, add to you, add to you. I'm trying to give you game. Baby, don't you miss this message, cause you're tired of pain. You're not an option, girl, I know you think we're all the same. And baby, don't you know that love is something you can't explain? Oh no, talking about going without for you. Pull up and vouch for you. Just hit my phone, right or you wrong, you know I'ma ride for you. Girl, I don't want nothing from you. Just want your love, baby, that'll do. Oh, baby, I got you. If you promise you got me, girl, you will be honest to bring out the best in you. You gotta know, you're all I want. You're all I want, baby. Pull up on you to let you know, baby, you're a blessing. You just gotta know you value. You ain't got a question, cause I'm gonna always be about it. I know that you're capable and you don't need a man. I'm not trying to take the credit, just let me enhance. Baby, let me add to you. Baby, let me add to you. I just wanna add to you, add to you, add to you, yeah. Cause I don't want nothing from you, just add to you, add to you. Yeah, let me add to you, add to you.
Your Las Vegas connection for music, news, and fun. 22.3 Takeover Vegas Radio.
Hold up, Chris, I like that. Damn.
Whenever you're feeling high and dry, touch your lips with my love, baby. I'm the one you call to hold it down. Come and take a dip when you get high and dry.
something in the water, that's why you can't wait to taste it. Tiptoe in the garden, off my Nubian oasis. Healing in my hands, touching you in places. My time that you have, baby, don't you waste it.
The way we work together is a special energy. I know that you can handle whatever's in the way. Baby, you should know that I'm the person to rely on. I'll always be the one to say.
Whenever you're feeling high and dry, touch your lips with my love, baby. I'm the one you call to hold it down. Come and take a dip when you get high, high and dry.
When you slow run out, I'ma get you in love. Cause I'll put the out, get you running and running. If they cut you down, I'll pull you up for your loves. Get you back on the way. This one of those days. It takes one to know one, and then I told ya. Tell me how it's going, leaning on my shoulder. I be knowing everything before you even say it to me.
Whenever you're feeling high and dry, touch your lips with my love, baby. I'm the one you call to hold it down. Come and take a dip when you get high and dry. Whenever you're feeling high and dry, touch your lips with my love, baby.
Cause I ain't about to roll it if I ain't rolling that fire. Yeah, the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you high. We both know this house can never be a home, but ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's loving that you want, girl, I promise you desire. A conversation when I come around. Run my fingers through your baby hair. I wanna take it there. For sure you know what it's about. We'll find out every when you say we're there. I wanna take it there. You do it up, I tear it down. Bring it back, I wear it. I did it like whoa, 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 whoa. Baby, you're the finest. Pussy tastes like diamonds. How'd you get so timeless? I wanna get behind it, remind you. I know how to find it. Get it how you like it. Show you how we slide back in LA. Wanna circle that way. Ready for the showdown. Wild, wild west way. You know you flame. Gonna put that on my last name. Gonna take my time and climb it for the day. Conversation when I come around. Run my fingers through your baby hair. I wanna take it there. For sure you know what it's about. We'll find out every when you say we're there. I wanna take it there. You do it up, I tear it down. Bring it back, I wear it. I did it like whoa, 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 whoa. Cause I ain't about to roll it if I ain't rolling that fire. Yeah, the sun is going down, but I'm trying to take you high. We both know this house can never be a home. Ain't you sick of spending all your nights alone? If it's loving that you want, girl, I promise you desire.
The new sound of Las Vegas, 22.3, Takeover Vegas Radio.
Something knocking out of my window. Ooh, it was all I see. Who could that be in my window? Ooh, get your ass down here. Said all I see is me.
I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 down,
Look, I caught rabbits way before rapping. Way before they cared if I looked unhappy. I mean, way before Michael Jackson looked nappy. Way before the blonde hair, blue eye tactics. I know mistakes get pushed to the masses. I read the how-tos, pushing black magic. I'm hooded up, stars in my view, burst accident. 7 months later, you be calling my bafflement. Out the packaging, how-tos, not I. Press play, I recharge to run, Roger. Planted that seed so my tree lives longer. My daughter got eyes on the prize like her mama. No shame.
Something knocking out of my window. Ooh, it was all I see. Hey, mama, who could that be in my window? Somebody. Said all I see is me.
I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 down,
We on the edge of my bed, you know I keep on my dreads. You got me missing my ex, I put the X on my soul. You know the karma I dread, I mean I love you to death. You know the butterflies roam, I took a trip to your home. I heard the stereotype and I'm quick, hold me accountable, yes. Buried aside to my kin, drown like a fish in the sink. Wrapping some plastic out waste, looking faded this kid. Diapers all in my crib.
Something knocking out of my window. Ooh, it was all I see. Hey, mama, who could that be in my window? Ooh, I said all I see is me.
I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 down. I don't ever trip, I don't ever sit down. Hit me on my hip, we gon' shut that shit down. Tryna get a grip, I don't wanna fall down, 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 down,
World record.
And we're back with your girl, Rocky. Duty got me plugged in. You know, Rocky Relates. It's on our Thursday. Rocky Relates is sponsored by Crystal Clear Marketing and Cope Aesthetic Designs. And we were just talking. You know, this is
running our mouth.
This is unscripted conversations. We kind of just go with the flow. This is definitely genuine, and I appreciate all those people tuning in that are genuinely here to listen and give their opinions and, you know, filling this time with us. I appreciate that. Sometimes the things that run through my mind, I don't feel I necessarily can voice to everybody, but being here, I can get those things out, and I don't feel judged. I feel love. I feel the love.
I appreciate you saying that, because there is no judgment here. We're not coming from Duty, that is. I don't know about anybody else that's listening and watching, but Duty ain't gonna judge you. Not just because we're friends, but because, like I tell people, I judge myself way worse. And so I try to open my eyes up and be empathetic and understanding to others, but also just based off experience, make sure that I'm checking myself when I see something that I consider a flaw in somebody else.
And understanding yourself is the most important thing. Then everything else starts making sense.
Exactly.
Once you understand what's going on within you, your thoughts, your feelings, everything else around you is going to make sense. You're going to know how to move a little bit smoother. That road isn't as rocky.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
But I appreciate everybody being here today, tuning in, however you were tuning in with us. We definitely love that. And you stay tuned for tomorrow. With Finally Friday, what you got planned?
We got a very special guest coming in tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm going to hold off on all the announcements and all the great things that we got going on. But just, you know, for all of our plugged in supporters, just know that I'll use TI line, big shit popping. We got some great things going on, and tomorrow we have a very special guest. We'll be talking about some very important things going on in our community, about helping people. And so please make sure you're plugged in with us tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, here at the station that has more fun, 22.3
Take over Vegas Radio.
Something, baby, running at you, running from me. Don't wanna keep on, don't wanna be so dependent on you, dependent on me. Don't wanna keep on, no. And if I hold on to you, I'm only hurting me. Yeah. I know if I hold on to you, I'll never want to leave. Gonna let me, gonna set me free. Don't take me for granted, no. Every time I'm weak and alone, deep in my bones, no, safe for me. Hey, oh, how do you get somewhere comfortable and leave? Say something, baby, something to me. Running at you, running from me. Don't wanna keep on, don't wanna be so dependent on you, dependent on me. Don't wanna be somewhere I don't know. And if I hold on to you, I'm only hurting me. Yeah. I know if I hold on to you,